So you have heard someone saying, I'm applying Agile methodology. You have heard someone saying, I'm a certified Agile Project Manager. I'm a certified Agile Project Implementer. You've heard someone saying, I know about Agile. So what exactly is this Agile methodology that we talk about in project management? You're going to find out as we go through this video. So let's get started. So let us look at the three main roles that you find in an Agile setup. There are basically three of them. The first one is the product owner. So we need to understand exactly what is this role all about and why do you need it. So let us go through what is expected of these roles. So the first role we are going to look at is the product owner. So product owner is the one who owns the product backlog. A backlog is a list of features or user stories that are used to provide requirements to the Agile management process. Then the product owner also sets and communicates the product goals. The product owner also orders backlog items, that is prioritizing backlog items, and also accepts or rejects each increment. So as you go through the Agile methodology, you find that new requirements, they normally come even during or even after an iteration. So it is the responsibility of the product owner to make sure that that is prioritized. So the product backlog is normally not a fixed list of items. It can be rearranged depending on what the product owner sees as best in terms of giving value from the project. He also represents stakeholder interests. So a product owner represents a stakeholder interest. So product owner is one of the key roles that you should always have in a project environment. And in this Agile project environment, if you don't have a product owner, then it implies that you're actually going to have difficulty. Actually, it's not even advisable to go for Agile. There must be someone who owns the requirements. There must be someone who owns the user stories, the features that you're going to produce as a development team. So it's quite important that you should always have a product owner as a role in an Agile setup. So in an Agile setup, you normally have a servant leader. I want to emphasize on that statement. What do we mean by a servant leader? A servant leader is someone who is always fetching the water, if I can use that statement, for the team. Someone who is facilitating. It's different from a predictive environment where the project manager is actually the one who is running things, who is making decisions each and every time. But in an Agile environment, people, they normally use two terms. The first one is you might be called an Agile Project Manager. Also, depending on the type of Agile that you're running, you might have what is called a Scrum Master. So the purpose of this role is to facilitate the Agile process or methodology. So let us look at what is expected of these roles, of this Scrum role in an Agile environment. So, a Scrum Master is expected to be coaching the team on Agile practice and is also expected to remove impediments and also blockers. Remember, in an Agile environment, there is a daily stand-up meeting, and this daily stand-up meeting, it means one of the items to be discussed is impediments and blockers. So the Agile project manager or the Scrum Master is expected to remove these impediments. Then is also expected to facilitate events. If there's something that has to be, is supposed to protect the team. So if there's something that has to be managed, the Scrum Master is supposed to facilitate that. Then you also have the Scrum Master is also expected to protect the team from distractions. The team must focus on delivery. Remember, you have a sprint which is running for 2 to 4 weeks. So it is expected that the team should not be distracted by anything else. And this is the responsibility of the Scrum Master or Agile Project Manager. He's also expected to save the organization's Agile adoption. Some organizations, they take long to adopt to anything. So the Scrum Master is expected to help the organization to adopt to Agile methodology. So, Scrum Master or Agile Project Manager is a very important role in an Agile environment, especially when it comes to facilitation, especially when it comes to removal of impediments and also blockers. They are a bit different from a predictive project manager because Remember, in Agile methodology, the team is self-organizing. So the Scrum Master is more of, can I say, breaking barriers in case there are some challenges which are coming in. They focus more on that. They leave the team to organize on what to do, how to do it, and then the expected results. The third role that you should expect in an Agile environment is the development team. So what do you mean by development team? In an Agile setup, obviously there must be some team which is going to be responsible for creating the requested deliverables or even product, service, or whatever results that you expect. So this is what is called the development team. They are responsible for creating the features, they are responsible for creating the user stories, they are responsible for creating the requirements that are coming from the product backlog. So in most cases, it doesn't contain one person unless it is a very, very small project, like maybe painting a house or something. But for bigger projects, it might contain a number of people. And this number of people, you might also be forced to segregate them into individual work streams, just for you to be able to deliver in terms of product or Agile methodology. So let us go through what is expected of this role in an Agile environment. So in terms of development team, it's normally a cross-functional design and also build for tests. Then you also have it as a self-organizing and no sub-teams. In most cases, you might not find some sub-teams. And also you have 3 to 9 people for optimal communication. Then accountable for the definition of done. What is done? What do you mean by done? Then is also commit to sprint goals collectively. So development team should always be existing in an Agile environment. These are the people who are going to actually execute and produce the required results.